Welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Hoey. Well, we have another great show for you tonight. So, boys, let's get it started. We start with the Boston Red Sox, one of the hottest teams in Major League Baseball. Boys, it's remarkable that this team is playing .600 baseball. They're really not that good right now, but I will tell you guys, we have a couple of stars that stand out. Of course, my boy Xander, but Devers has been terrific again this season. But the guy I want to talk about is Alex Verdugo. Boys, not only is he a star, but he's a guy who makes the clutch hits when we need him. He's got personality. I'm telling you right now, it's already a wash. Mookie Betts for Alex Verdugo. I'm good with.
What are we paying? What are we paying for? What are we paying for Verdugo right now?
We're paying him nothing, diddly, probably $1.5 million.
Not $40 million.
Not $40 million, nor do we. But look, wait.
It's not a wash. It's not a wash, but we got the best we could have gotten, but we weren't going to sign him anyways.
Is there a $39 million? Is there a $39 million difference?
No. But no, just we'll laugh and smile now to me, boy. But we're gonna have to pay this guy $40 million
Yeah, it's just a matter of time.
No, but right now
that's when we dump. That's when we get rid of him. We get the next Alex Verdugo, right?
Yeah, and the next guy we're gonna lose. But first of all, the kid's a clutch hitter. I mean, that is true. Another clutch 3-run homer last night. The kid comes through in the clutch, but also he's got a ton of personality, and Major League Baseball needs that.
Look, he was fun to watch last year, and there was nothing fun about that game last year, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that team last year. He was a hell of a lot of fun, and he had energy through a terrible year, and now his energy is twice as much in a good team.
And Joe, when you have Devers, Xander, and Verdugo, just those three guys in lineup, forgetting about JD Martinez for a second and Christian Vasquez, you have 3 stars for the future that you can depend on, I think, for at least the next 5 years.
I was just looking at the lineup tonight. It looks very good, and throw Hunter Renfroe in there. Other than Marwin leading off, and I forget one other guy in there to hit the pitcher tonight. 189 are the only easy outs tonight.
Yeah,
That's a tough lineup.
So, hey, Scotty, Verdugo makes $650,000. Now, the thing is, he's arbitration eligible starting next year. So he's going to make progressively, he's not a free agent until 2025.
Wow.
But he's going to start to cost them some dough. Now, I mean, he'll make,
All right.
$12 million.
That's what Mookie pays in taxes every month.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Mookie $30 million a year in arbitration too, Tim.
Right.
You know, the arbitration can cost you a lot of money too.
Yeah.
And let me,
Play it, you got to pay him.
and let me
But
just
there's a
explain
lot
the
to do with that. You know, that extra $29 million we got to toss around. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right, Timmy. That's exactly what I was going to say. Hopefully, and I trust Chaim Bloom to get great players. Erod, interesting situation. Erod's a free agent. Erod currently has a 6+ ERA. Are we going to break the bank for Erod, or are we going to let him walk?
I don't see Chaim Bloom breaking the bank.
Let him
What's that, Joe?
Let him go out and see what he can get. Just tell him, let the pages do. Go make your best deal. Let me see what you're getting, and we'll try to match it. Or maybe give you a little more.
Joe, I don't know if they do that really in baseball. I think I don't think they do that.
No, the agents are a lot tougher in baseball.
Yeah.
Can I ask this? Is baseball the only sport now, maybe not hockey, where players are picking their cities and going to play with their buddies because there is no salary cap, right? It's still a completely
No, baseball has
what team's going to give me the most scenario?
Baseball has a cap in a sense of luxury tax.
Luxury tax, but it's not a hard cap. You see what I
Not a
mean?
hard cap.
Well, it's the same as basketball.
No, but
Yeah,
you get
I mean,
penalized dramatically. That's why the Yankees and the Red Sox want to get under that certain threshold because you get down a
If you're
draft
$50
pick.
million over and have to pay $2 for every goal you're over, That's $150 million you're paying for nothing.
Yeah.
Scott, you asked about Erod, and here's the good news about Erod is I think the manager knows Erod really well. I think Cora's got a little bit of a beat on Erod, and I think the thing they'll need to answer is do you go to Erod during the year and offer him something and say, look, maybe this contract status is not working well for him. You know, a lot of guys, it motivates a lot of guys, it fouls up their brain. So do you go to Erod and say, here's the deal, we're going to give you 3 years, it's going to be a nice healthy contract, get yourself settled down and pitch like you can.
What's he worth for us?
I know, he's probably 10? Yeah, he's probably $15 million a year pitcher. He's young, he's lefty, he throws hard. I mean, right? And he's got a track record of success.
I'm glad we didn't give Felix DeBron a 4-year contract, because if he had come to Brookline, I would have handed him a contract for 4 years because I thought he was going to be a star. So with that in mind, I think you're right. If they can get 70 cents on the dollar right now, Russ, I think they probably pull the trigger. Look, we don't know still what the effects of COVID has had on Erod and whether he's going to get better and whether he'll be able to train and stuff. But to get to the promised land, we need Erod because he is supposed to be our first starter.
You could put a clause in there if that heart issue acts up again, the COVID heart issue, the inflammation. That should be easy to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you remember 2007 when Dustin Pedroia came up, lots of hype, and he was an absolute stiff for most of the year. Terrible, under 200. Yep. But the Red Sox hung in there with him, and I apparently I heard he had a pretty good career. Do we do the same with Bobby Dahlbeck? Because I'm really getting a little tired of the tryout.
No. I can't hang in there with him. Not at first base. It's not a position where you play around with. There's a dime a dozen first baseman. Go get Russ's old friend Mitchie Doubles. Anyone.
Well, I mean, I think you could stick with him if you platoon him. He can hit lefty pitching pretty well. Exactly. I don't think I'd give him another freaking at bat against a right-handed pitcher as long as they're in the pennant race this year. Because
he looks overmatched, right, Russ?
He looks overmatched, and he's not getting any better. And so, like, I mean, if he can pound left-handed pitching, then let him pound left-handed pitching. But like, what are we trying to do here? We're in a pennant race.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
We got to win baseball games, and if you could trade a AAA pitcher for Mitch Moreland and have him play against righties and play Dahlbeck only against lefties, and it slows Dahlbeck's progression a little bit, fine.
There's got to be a million. There's got to be a million guys who can hit the ball like crazy, but can't catch a ball out there, right?
Right.
Yeah. Look, and a lot of the bad teams, the first guy they want to get rid of is the slow first baseman. I mean, that's the guy they give away for peanuts if he has any kind of contract whatsoever. All right, boys, the Andrew Benintendi deal, we got prospects. Heimblum's happy, I'm happy. But Frenchie Cordero, if Frenchie Cordero did not look so horrific with the Red Sox, we'd be going goo-goo gaga. The guy's batting like freaking 500 with 75 up at bats in Worcester. What's happening? Who is this guy? Is this guy a 4A player?
He's a 4A player, right?
You think? I mean,
it's the big leaguers.
So we shouldn't get excited because we could look a bat like that would look awful nice in this lineup right now.
Frenchie Cordero.
Frenchie Cordero is hitting like 450.
But he couldn't hit his way out of a paper bag in the big leagues.
Oh, even worse than that. Even worse than that. That's a great segue into my next subject. I told you boys that Kiki Hernandez was going to make it very painful to watch the Boston Red Sox. He single-handedly tries to lose every game he plays.
Wait, Scotty, is this your new guy?
Kiki Hernandez is your new guy. His foot is on top of Daniel Nava. I hate him so much. How bad is this guy, and why does Alex Cora continue to play him?
They must see something in him. They must see some. They must see something in his swing or something that they think they can get something out of. I don't see it, but these guys make a living. These guys make a living projecting this stuff, and they must see something.
What happened to that Carlos Arroyo experiment with him batting first? Did he just not pan out? Like
no, he had a couple home runs last week.
Well, why is he not batting first? Like, why did he go back to Kike?
Now it's back to Merlin.
a great point. Nobody knows why Arroyo's not playing second base.
Yeah. I mean, look, they are probably 2 players short, but they're clearly 1 player short, right? I mean, we can all agree they need an upgrade on Marwin Gonzalez and Kike Hernandez.
Yeah.
Somehow. Right?
Well, I mean,
There's going to be somebody up there that they can grab.
Outfielder and a legitimate infielder that can play their position.
Yeah.
boys, I'm here to tell you
They need
that
a regular position player in both fields that can both field and.
Now, I'm not really familiar with our minor league system. Who do we got that's knocking on the door right now?
Jaron Duran, Mike Trout himself, as Scotty said.
I know. But look, we are going to be competing with the Rays, not the Yankees, for the next 7 to 10 years for World Series titles. What Chaim Bloom has created, and of course Dombrowski, with Tristan Casas at first, Jeter Downs at second, Jared Duran coming. They got lots of pitchers coming up in the system. The Boston Red Sox and the Rays, who have an incredible system built by Chaim Bloom, will be the 2 top teams in Major League Baseball for the next 7 or 10 years.
He's got the whole Rays scouting system in his head.
Yeah.
And now he's got the buying power of the Red Sox to beat the Rays in every field.
But Joe, the Rays are stacked.
He's used to shopping at Sears and Bradley's. Now he's shopping at Neiman Marcus, right?
Right.
The Rays have a guy, Franco, who's apparently off the charts, #1 prospect in baseball. As if the Rays aren't stacked enough, they got the #1 guy coming up soon. So look, it's not going to be about the Yankees for the next 5 to 7 years. It's going to be about the Rays.
And what would you say, Professor? You probably know what's the Rays payroll right now?
Oh my God! I mean, if it's probably not even $100 million. I would assume that's somewhere around.
And what's the Yankees payroll right now?
150 to 200.
Yeah. They just is Stanton alone. Stanton.
And what are the Red Sox at now?
220.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the Rays are at 74 million this year.
Wow. Or David, what we owe David Price.
Right. The Yankees are at 250.
Wow. The Red Sox probably like 220, right?
And the Red Sox are interesting. They don't have it up right up. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Now Wonder Chaim Bloom is in Boston right now.
Look, this kid, I follow all the minor leagues, and we have top guys up and down the minor league system, whereas a couple years ago, they couldn't even report about the minors. The guys sucked so bad. It was embarrassing. Chaim Bloom, the wonders of what he's doing with this Red Sox team is remarkable. Got to give the kudos to John Henry. Great hire.
176 million payroll.
Yeah. So it's
For
pretty
the Red Sox.
Yep. So, and they still have some flexibility. All right, boys, we go to the Patriots. It's remarkable that we're going from Tom Brady, simple name, to Mac Jones. If Tom Brady was born right now, he'd probably be named Mac Jones. That would be his name. He's the quarterback for the next 10 years, boys. Get used to it. They don't just he has to be in the system. They're going to sink or swim with Mac Jones.
Well, you know what his name would not be, Scotty?
What's that?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
No.
Way too much of a mouthful. Look how quickly is Scott Kerman forgot about Jimmy Garoppolo. Like he's dead to him. He's like 2 girlfriends ago. It's like, I dated her when I was a teenager.
Is Adrian yelling out Mac Jones at night now?
Jimmy G can walk by me and I wouldn't even notice now. He can walk by me with Jimmy G.
Does she make you wear the Mac Jones shirt now at night instead of the Jimmy G shirt?
No, it's Mac Daddy. That's Mac Daddy. That's the name for Mac. I tell you something, this kid he's there early at Gillette and he leaves late. He has a great work ethic. The guy can make all the throws. He's played against top competition. Screw Cam Newton, screw them all. Mac Jones should be the quarterback game 1.
I always wonder, all those great receivers that came out of Alabama, how important was he making them so great? I mean, they're all saying they made him great.
They're all doing pretty good in the NFL.
He can make the throws. Mac Jones can make the throws, Russ.
So I heard he had a bad week. I heard he had a couple of bad days this week. Have you heard that?
No.
It was bad.
That's all right. Look, that's going to happen. I saw Cam Newton throw a 7-on-7 10 yards over the wide receiver's head. That's all I need to know. There's no more rehab. I don't give a crap about COVID. Cam Newton's not the future. Mac Jones is the future. He plays game one against the Dolphins and just see what he can do.
I hope Cam Newton has a great rebound and improves over what he was. I mean, I'll take two good guys fighting it out versus one good guy and one.
He's not improving, Timmy. He wasn't even a good high school quarterback. What are you talking about?
They're talking about his mechanics are all different now, and I don't know how you relearn your mechanics at that late into your career. But
everybody loves Cam Newton, boys. Everybody loves him. He's a great personality. He's a very pleasant guy, but he can't play quarterback in the NFL anymore.
Yeah, it's looking like, reading the tea leaves, and this Greg Bedard is really good at this stuff. Just who's getting their reps, where are they getting them? Mac is clearly in the mix. I mean, if Mac Jones beats out Newton in training camp, I actually think Belichick will consider playing him. If he doesn't clearly beat him, I think he'll be playing in game 6.
Well, we remember back to he put Brady in over even when Bledsoe was ready to come back. He stuck with the better player.
Yep.
He kept Tom Brady in there. So,
Timmy, he wanted to play Brady the start of that season.
But he needed an excuse to make
Yeah.
the move.
Yeah, I mean, he paid.
so, it's not unprecedented. It's not unprecedented that he just goes with the younger guy and the better guy. So, as stubborn as he can be, maybe he'll do it.
Well, that was what happened to him in Cleveland. Remember? That's why they ran him out of town.
But also, he can placate him, Joe.
He knows something.
But Joe, by playing Cam Newton 5 to 7 plays like we've talked about in red zone and short yard situation, he can integrate Cam Newton. So there's really not much.
Oh, yeah, the Tyson Hill type role, Randall Cunningham role. Yeah,
It happened.
Yeah, I think
Kind of like a New Orleans situation.
Yeah, that's most likely the situation. And I think Bill Belichick's excited about, and McDaniels are excited about being able to implement that. That's a lot of fun for the coach.
It's going to be interesting to see how these top quarterbacks that were drafted so high this year all play out, how they really, what they end up being. It's going to be fun to watch over the next few years, who was right, who was wrong.
Yeah, remember the year of the quarterback when they all got taken the city there.
Yeah, we took Tony Easton and they took Dan Marino.
Dan Marino ended up being better than all of them. He was the last one taken.
Oh my God! Can you imagine if we had Marino all those years?
Oh
my God! I would have quit smoking a long time ago. All right, boys.
I'll still say Marino is the best arm of any quarterback that's ever been in the NFL.
Wow. All right.
The best pure, just arm. The best arm.
It's tough to disagree with. Yeah, you know who I really thought was a great arm? Burt Jones.
He tortured us for years.
Yeah, Burt Jones was remarkable. Dante Hightower, one of my favorite Patriots of all time, is back. And look, like Timmy says, as much as he can contribute on the field, he's going to contribute in the locker room.
He's carrying that Patriot way torch, that hey, we're here for business, guys. This is the Patriots, and you've heard it through the years, the culture there, and he's carrying that torch now.
Yeah. What a turnaround in that linebacker room, huh?
Oh my God.
The best guy in the free agent market. Dan Newey comes back, and Hightower comes back. No more that crapola Perez Hilton or whoever they had in the line.
Yeah, lots of talk from the reporters who have seen it said the front seven looked dominant.
Really?
Yeah, and
that's encouraging.
They're big fellas. Does Gilmore get a new contract, or does Gilmore get traded, or does Gilmore more like hold out the whole season? What happens?
All right. So what's it going to take to keep him? $13 million?
Well, seeing that he got paid,
I think he got more than that last year.
Yeah, he got more than I would imagine.
So what's he on the books for? 7 right now, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Belichick has put so much effort into rebuilding this team, and you have a linchpin player. I mean, he's not what he used to be, but he's certainly top 10 cornerbacks in the league. Those guys don't grow on trees.
I know, but it feels like a Revis thing where he fell off real quickly, and he didn't want to pay Revis. I don't know if he's going to pay Gilmore, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he'll make that decision. By the end of training camp, we'll know. If he's still worth it, he'll get the money.
Russ, does Gilmore get the money or does he not?
I think he's going to. I think Belichick will throw him $7.5 million, and he'll play for 14.5 again. And and bet it'll be Gilmore betting on the fact that he's healthy. I mean, somebody's got to see the guy play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, would you trade him for a quality wide receiver right now?
That's a good question.
We still don't have any.
I mean, we're talking about a very good wide receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. A top 20 wide receiver in the NFL.
I'd do it.
I'd do it too. And I mean,
it depends. Like they said, what we're gonna see, what we have,
And then I put the money.
We don't have much.
You know what we don't have this year is the street free agents. That always surprise us. There's typically one cornerback that shows up that we have no idea who he is, who does pretty good for us. We don't have that.
We only got one this year, and it's that kicker.
Well, it felt like they signed the Mills kid from Philly. It felt that when they signed him that he was going to be Gilmore's replacement. Has the plan changed?
I think it just gives them options. I think Belichick went into this saying, I need a lot of options, and they've got another couple of guys. Miles Bryant's supposed to be pretty good.
Right,
so I think he's looking at, I'm going to throw 3 or 4 guys into the mix, and if it looks like they're better players than Gilmore, he'll deal Gilmore. I mean, he's always trying to give himself options.
Also, pay J.C. Jackson a hell of a lot less to stay with the Patriots moving forward. And he's a lot younger than Gilmore is.
Yeah.
All right, boys, go to the Boston Celtics. Maybe you heard of them. And Jason Tatum, it's remarkable, this stuff. Only Russ would know this. But Jason Tatum did not make the All-NBA team, Russ. That's 3 first team, second team, third team.
Right.
When Maxie came up and told me that, we're like, oh, this is outrageous. Then you realize that the Celtics do not have to pay him $32 million in a bonus.
That's right.
Wow. Making that, and they can use that for players. So yeah, good for us.
No, I mean, wow. He picked a bad time to get COVID, the poor guy, because had he not gotten COVID, he would have made the All-NBA team. There's no question, because between the games missed and how long it took him to recover, even when he was back, that was his chance. And that's $32 million case of COVID he picked up.
If this kid can get it, there was that one game where he was the best guy on the court amongst KD.
Yeah.
That game against the Nets, he was the best. He was the best player on the court.
Well,
but he doesn't bring it every night. When he can learn to bring that, like at least 85% of that every night, which he has not done, that's when he'll be that level.
He's going to play in the Olympics. He wants to play in the Olympics, and which is risky injury-wise. But a lot of those guys, when they go over there, if he raises his game to another level, he could come back at that superstar level. We could get, if he has a good Olympics and stays healthy and does exactly what Timmy just said, which brings it every practice, he could be walking back into the Celtics in October as a top 10 player in the NBA.
You make a lot of money in the Olympics in the endorsements.
Yeah. He's got to make up 32.
You're much more valuable internationally.
He's going to make up $32 million, Joe. He's hoping at $32 million worth of an Olympic berth.
Yeah, Deuce's trust fund is only going to be like $20 million a year.
Right.
Now, was that was a one-time payout of $32 million?
No. So he could, had he made an All-NBA team, the Celtics could pay him up to 30% of the cap. But without making the NBA team this year, they can only pay him 25% of the cap through the rest of his contract.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about him, but I'm pretty happy.
Who was more pissed off than Jason Tatum when that list came out?
He's fine.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry.
Fine. He's going to be okay.
But that's enough money for 3 generations of your family.
3 generations, Timmy. That's enough until the earth ends. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Get a good accountant.
Interest, or just private interest, all that.
That will never run out. That money will never run out unless Deuce has a problem with ladies.
Unless you're, who was the guy for the Celtics that blew $100 million?
Antoine Walker. Right?
Unless you're Antoine Walker, right?
Yeah, that's a funny story. They asked him, he said he blew $100 million, and he said, "How did he do that?" He said, "Well, if I had $200 million, I would have blown $200 million." I'm like, all right, good. I feel good now.
At least he's honest.
We got to pick one or the other, Neesmith or Langford. Who's going to be on the Celtics next year?
From the
on the Celtics.
I like, Naismith impressed me a little bit. Oh, no, not Naismith. I'm sorry, Langford.
So
I was totally down on Langford for a while. He kind of worked his way into my light category with his hustle.
I don't even know what his position
I'm a
is.
Neesmith guy for sure over Romeo. I've heard some stories about Romeo behind the scenes.
Oh, all right. If Joe hears them, they're true.
The mailman knows.
Russ, you got to
Oh,
say
I would take
one.
I would take Neesmith. I think they're both back, but I would take Neesmith unless someone's included in a trade.
Yeah, because Neesmith feels like he has, because of his size, has a position.
Well, he can shoot. I mean, one thing you see watching these playoff games is that guys who can shoot the ball stay in the game in playoff games. Guys who can't shoot it, they don't last long in playoff games.
Yeah, we don't, those defensive
Romeo
guys.
almost became like a defensive specialist.
He has.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice little, again, too many nice little 10 to 15 minute guys on the Celtics.
Yeah.
We need guys like last night, like Durant, who plays 48.
We're going to talk about the new coach for the Celtics. I got a little something I want to chime in with.
Okay, go ahead.
Go.
This has become, a salesman's job now, the coach, So as much as, like Tom Brady attracted people to the Patriots, we need a coach that's going to attract players. Like, where people want to come and play for this person. I think that should be like number one on the list.
Yeah, recruitment is. I don't know who that name is. I mean, Sam Cassell. The rumors are strong about Sam Cassell, but he's been around forever, and he never got a head coaching job. I mean, I don't know why we're so into Sam Cassell. Again, I want Kara Lawson. I think she changes the Celtics franchise forever.
But do you think players will come to Boston to play for her?
Yes, absolutely. I think that, look, once they have one female head coach, they're going to all of a sudden be 3, 4, 5 in the league in the next 10 years. She should be the first one because of the match with the Celtics, and I think that she's going to change the sports world forever.
I think it doesn't work out, Tim. It'll be a coup, a public relations coup all around, a sales coup all around for the Celtics.
I want somebody who's going to attract star players. That's who I want.
You don't think that the mothers seem to be the strongest force in these players' lives? You don't think the mother's going to want them to play for Kara Lawson? Yes, they're going to want them to play for Kara Lawson. Trust me on that.
I think I hope it's her. But I think it's going to be Cassell is my prediction.
Yeah, well, that's
Phillips, the old Celtic milk.
I think Phillips is going to end up in Portland. Is my guess. Yeah.
Look, I don't.
Hey, on the West Coast.
That you're probably right, Russ. It just seems like not a great hire. Brad Stevens, boring as usual. Brad Stevens hire.
Well, look, I mean, Sam Cassell's a good. I mean, I'll take a guy who's proven himself as an assistant coach for 5 years. I'll take that. Like, give me somebody who's been on the bench and has seen players come and players go. The biggest problem that the Celtics are going to have to solve next year, or the question they're going to have to answer is, can Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum really play together? Like, are they 1 + 1 = 3, or are they 1 + 1 = 1.9? Because if they're 1 + 1 = 1.9, guess what? One of them's got to go.
What do you see right now, Russ?
I don't see those guys playing great together. I don't see them making each other better. I don't see them in conflict. I think they like each other, but like, I think there's a legitimate question to be answered in the NBA. Two wings like that, do they complement each other? I don't think Paul George and Kawhi Leonard have played great together, and that was supposed to be this revolutionary two-wing team, and I don't think they've played great together.
That's also why Tatum didn't make All NBA. They had him listed as a guard and as a forward. He got votes for both, and they got more for forwards. So they put him at the forwards, and so he didn't make it.
So the whole premise, Russ, is would Bradley Beal, be a better match for Tatum?
You could make an argument, I think, systematically and say, you know what, these two wings, these two very similarly built wings, they don't complement each other. They're a little bit like magnetic forces and opposite. Are you better taking Brown and getting a smaller, more offensive-oriented player like Beal, or do you take him and go get a bigger stud, and put that together with? I don't know. By the way, I'm not saying this is true, but I think it's a legitimate question to ask.
Do you think they could do Beal for Brown even up?
Yes,
pretty close. I think I think you'd be sending Brown and a pick maybe, but not a ton.
Oh, I don't know. Brown has a great contract, and I'm sure the Wizards would like that.
Yeah, but remember, Beal is, Beal's made all the NBA teams. Like he's, but maybe not. Maybe it's
do you think Kyrie's comments about Boston will affect them attracting players going forward?
No.
And the whole fallout from that thing?
I think Kyrie's a well-known a-hole. He's a well-known douchebag. So, like, what do we,
And Beal's a better player.
Vice president of the players union. He's well respected amongst the players. So.
Kyrie is, yeah.
I think there's plenty of players who think Kyrie's a weirdo, including Jaylen Brown. And,
Oh yeah. I would hate to see Brown go because he's really just a wonderful citizen.
I want this to work. I think a big, mobile, great shooting wing is the most valuable player in today's NBA. The question is, can two of them coexist in one team?
Well, if they pass to each other every once in a while, that'd be nice to see.
Right? Can they do pick and roll? I think whatever offensive system comes in next needs to feature those two guys working off of each other more than Brad did, which was just ISO ball.
Okay, so who are we getting for Kemba? I know it's got to be something. It's got to be rubbish. We know that.
No, my sources tell me that Toronto or Miami will be very interested, and they'll cut a deal with one of them.
And how much would we have to pay?
What's that? We could get a quality player back. Absolutely.
You're talking even up?
No. They got to match contracts and stuff.
We'll probably have to pay half the contract.
Right. A rumor out there is Kemba to the Clippers for Patrick Beverly, Luke Kennard, and a salary. Like that's the kind of deal. If you send him to Miami, you're not getting Duncan Robinson back.
No.
But you're going to get Dragic, or you'll get three pieces, and you'll try to get rid of two of them, right?
Yeah.
And we were all so excited when we got him, and it just turned out to be a disaster.
Absolute disaster. I don't. Yeah, hopefully.
I heard the most likely coming back are like guys like Al Horford, Porzingis.
No. Well, I'll take Porzingis, not Al Horford. I don't want him back. All right, boys. Timmy, you have to apologize for everything you ever said about Tuukka Rask. He's as tough as anyone that has ever put on a Bruins uniform. The man played with a torn labrum.
Well, I think the only reason I think he played was because he bowed out last year and he was trying to redeem himself in his teammates' eyes and everyone else's eyes. Listen, Tuukka's a good goalie. He's a gamer. I don't know what was going on in his personal life last year, so I can't really comment on that. I don't know all the facts. He's a very, very good goalie.
He was playing with a torn labrum.
I know, and as a goaltender, I can't even fathom how you do that.
And the fact is, he played really well. He played really well in the first series.
But here's the thing: New York's goalie outplayed him. The Islanders' goalie, as good as Tuukka played, the other team's goalie played better.
Here's the thing. That all is true. Tough, great, has been a great goalie. I think it's time to move on. I think it's just time to move on from Tuukka. I would use his $7 million salary, whatever it is, to go get something else.
And I think this kid from Maine, I think the kid from Maine is going to be a suitable replacement.
Yeah, get a good backup.
Yeah,
I'm fine with Tuukka if he's willing to take that $7.5 million and bring it down to $2 million. And only be for 2 years. And he won't take that.
My gripe with Tuukka is, this series, the New York series, he got outplayed by the other team's goal. If you're going to win a Stanley Cup, your goalie has, like Tim Thomas did, has to stand on his head all through the playoffs.
Well, he shouldn't have been playing.
Played well. He didn't stand on his head, though.
He may not have been playing with a torn labrum.
Gary Price has been doing for Montreal.
It was a big mistake to play him those last 2 games. You should never put him up.
You're right.
Absolutely. All right. Don Sweeney, I think, has done a hell of a job for the Bruins. But the Jacobs brothers, Bottom line, Jacobs brothers don't like these early exits. I think Cam Neely, their little binky, may go.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
I think someone is going to have to start paying.
Well, and I
Well,
mean,
he was a PR hire to begin with.
I think Miller being out and Carlo being out really, really hurt them. I mean, those are two outstanding defensemen. I mean, injuries are a part of any sport, but I think that really hurt them. And I think this is a good team. We need
Timmy,
two more guys. We need two more guys. We need two more guys who can get 25 goals a year. That's what we need.
We want to beat the Lightning, no matter what.
Miller and Carlo have been out every single year for the last 4 years.
You
Right?
can't blame them. I mean, you saw
got to get
Carlo
players who stay on the ice, Timmy.
You saw his head get rattled against the glass there. I mean, what are you going to do about that? I mean, I don't know.
He's had so many concussions, you can't stick with that guy.
Get players who have harder heads.
I don't know what player could have survived getting his head rattled like that against the glass.
No one could, but going forward, he's a concussion every night waiting to happen.
What's he, 23, 24 years old? I mean, this guy's got another 10 solid years in front of him.
I don't know about that. No.
Maybe.
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Let me support Timmy. Like, who would have bet on Bergeron 12 years ago that he wouldn't have a concussion-filled career? That guy was gone. He was
a great point.
basically gone. And he's had put 12 years on him without really having a problem. So I don't think Carlo's the problem. The problem is that they didn't have enough defensive depth to get through the injuries in the playoffs.
I would say that they bet too much on Miller staying on the ice.
Yeah, I mean that was a bad bet, Tim.
That was a bad bet.
That was a bad bet. The Carlo,
you saw what he was capable of when he was out there. I mean, he brings a lot to the Bruins.
That was a bad.
Lucky to keep McAvoy on the ice the way he was getting targeted too.
Yeah,
it's a brutal game. It's hard to stay out there. It's a brutal game. The playoffs are brutal too.
Especially when that clutterbuck is targeting you every single time you go after the puck.
Yeah. Well, I have faith in Don Sweeney. Really, I think he's a fantastic general manager, and I really love the Hall and Riley deal.
I mean, I'm hoping they sign Taylor Hall. I mean, that's probably the biggest question of that guy brings a whole nother dimension to the Bruins.
I think that they will. They have plenty of money with Krejci.
Listen, if they re-sign David Krejci, they're going to be fine.
Oh, give me a break.
Oh, please,
you got to be kidding me. Oh my God, the Kiki Hernandez of the Bruins.
The only reason I'd sign David Krejci is that I would only sign David Krejci after I sign Taylor Hall. Like without Hall, I don't think Krejci.
Without Smith, there's nothing to.
What are you talking about David Krejci for? He's off the team.
No, he's the key to the lifetime. My offseason priorities are David Krejci and another defenseman.
You'll never coming back as a bench.
David Krejci's your priority. He's not even priority in his own family. All right, that's our show for tonight. I got to go throw up. Want to thank Corbin. Want to thank the fellas. Please check us out on our website, David Krejci on the Grandstanders.
He'll be back. He'll be wearing a Bruin.
Oh.
Hey, I want to give one shout out here to the Milton High School baseball team, the Bay State League champs. The state playoffs start this week. Go.
Timmy, I saved the newspaper article.
Huh?
I saved the newspaper article.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Make a big, like half the front page and half the second page on the game.
When was that?
The Enterprise. Well, the Enterprise owns the Ledger, so they probably ran the same one in the Ledger too.
All right, I'll have to check it out. Thank you, Joe.
Uncle Joe's the only one who still gets the newspaper.
Colin's name is in there. Who runs single?
Yeah, that was a big one. I had to have my depends on for that game.
Joe prints the newspaper on his printer. That's it. All right, well, that's our show for tonight, boys. I want to thank everyone. Tune in next week.